Former Army Ranger Ben Smith captured the hearts of viewers and his leading lady with an honest and raw vulnerability that isn't often shared on The Bachelorette. But there's far more to this personal trainer than meets the eye. Here's the truth about all-around nice guy Ben Smith. Ben Smith served in the Army before vying for Tayshia Adams' rose on The Bachelorette. According to his bio on ABC.com, Ben completed his education at the United States Military Academy at West Point and the United States Army Ranger School. Ben also revealed that he was originally recruited to play golf at West Point, which was the catalyst to him pursuing a career in the armed forces. When Ben's time serving was cut short after he sustained a back injury, that pushed him into pursuing a different career. He opened up about it in a YouTube video, explaining his decision to leave the Army.
Then I had this epiphany and I was like, you know what? I don't need to do this anymore.
Following a conversation with his dad, Ben pursued personal training in Los Angeles instead. Although Ben ultimately chose not to remain on active duty, he expressed his gratitude to the military in an Instagram post, writing, "I am lucky to have had those experiences, and I am proud of how it has shaped my response to other times of hardship, mental, emotional, and even physical." From the first night he stepped out of the limo, Ben Smith appeared to be a lovable yet reserved all-American 20-something. But as The Bachelorette progressed, Ben began to share more about himself, leading to a startling revelation. In a raw confession, Ben shared a secret with Tayshia. He'd survived 2 suicide attempts in 2018 and 2019, opening up an important discussion that's rare for the Bachelor franchise. Ben explained, "My life was very dark, and I didn't know how to say that I needed things. I didn't want to burden anybody with my problems, and I thought that the easiest way was to just not be around. Luckily, it didn't work." Ben also admitted it took a lot for him to be able to open up, and that he's a very different person today than he was before, thanks to him being aggressive and intentional with going to therapy. If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK-8255. Ben's journey has been marked by his willingness to open up and share personal hardships that he's faced in his life. Although he struggled with letting Tayshia in at the beginning, he later shed light on his heartbreaking past. Through it all, Ben maintained that his close relationship with his sister helped him when he was in his darkest moments. In an emotional moment on The Bachelorette, Ben revealed that his sister was the only person he was able to talk to about his desire to take his own life. Ben also revealed that although she didn't know about his history with severe depression, she was unknowingly the one who saved him. He said, "The only thing that got me through that was her, and she has no idea. She saved my life, and so I owe her everything." Many of the contestants on season 16 of The Bachelorette shared intimate details about their lives. Ben was no different, opening up about his history of depression and his battle with an eating disorder. He told Tayshia all about it after an emotional group date, saying, "I found out what girls were when I was 15. I realized they don't like the fat kid, so I stopped eating. I started working out all the time, lost like 70 pounds, and had bulimia for 10 years when I was in my 20s. Additionally, in an interview with Good Morning America, Ben described his first instance of overeating at the age of 20 and how the years of body shame spiraled into bulimia. And although Ben had trouble opening up about what he was going through in the past, he encourages those who are struggling with an eating disorder to get help.
I would challenge people that are struggling to understand that it might be challenging and difficult, but reach out to somebody.
Ben turned to bodybuilding and nutrition after battling an eating disorder and leaving the armed forces. The former Army Ranger has been open about his health journey, which began with him getting his CrossFit certification in 2011. He then took a risk and moved to Los Angeles in order to work for a longtime fitness coach he'd followed on Instagram, who also owned Deuce Gym. Ben had wanted to get involved with Deuce for years, and leaving the military was the first step towards that goal. According to a YouTube video Ben made documenting his journey, he found a sense of community pursuing what he loved.
And so it's this really comforting thing where showing up as I am is enough, and I got that feeling on day one.
Additionally, Ben is also a coach at the bodybuilding club where he helps people from all walks of life, no matter where they are on their road to getting fit. Ben headed to the armed forces early on in his life after deciding against going to Indiana University. Though he originally thought the military was going to be a lifelong commitment, a life-changing back injury in 2018 changed his trajectory. He was 26 years old, but he could barely walk up the stairs. In a YouTube video for Deuce Gym, Ben revealed that the injury happened during a Special Forces assessment and selection course during his time at West Point. This injury was also the catalyst to the darker days of his life. Though his battle was tough, enough, Ben eventually found his footing pursuing a life of health and fitness. Going on The Bachelorette can bring participants instant fame and endless opportunities, but fan favorite Ben Smith has already strayed from the norm. While many contestants can get swept up in the glam and notoriety of Bachelor Nation, Ben doesn't want his everyday life to change after the show. On the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, Ben expressed to hosts Rachel Lindsay and Becca Kufrin that he's determined to keep both his day job and his lifestyle after his time on The Bachelorette. Ben says that even though he's grateful for his time on the show, he maintained that he had no expectations going in, or about how he'll be portrayed after the season airs.
I can't let this take away from my ability to be the person that I am for the people that I surround myself with.
Ben's journey on The Bachelorette had its highs and lows. He had a rocky start and was sent home, but came back to confess his love for Tayshia in a surprise twist. He's clearly a romantic at heart, for better or for worse. Ben's romantic gestures apparently come from a place of being ready to settle down with someone he can be himself around. According to his bio on ABC.com, he wants a wife who can openly communicate and stay emotionally available, and he also says he wants a partner who can keep up with him on the dance floor. Ben reportedly expresses his romantic side by writing love letters to convey his affection, which might explain his lack of emotion in person when he was eliminated, something that clearly upset Tayshia. Being catapulted into the limelight overnight can be a lot for anyone to handle. Not surprisingly, that's the case for Ben, who admits his newfound fame can be overwhelming at times. On the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, Ben explained how stress affects him, saying,
I could be deployed in a war thing and be totally fine. My phone, if it has more than 5 notifications on it, I can't handle it.
Ben went on to say how he doesn't read stuff about himself people send him, and that he leans on his support system to keep him level-headed. Additionally, Ben detailed how he relies heavily on therapy, and that he utilized that when he was preparing to go on The Bachelorette. Ben also mentioned how he did intensive therapy when he came back from filming, and explained his mentality upon returning to his normal life.
For me, the only thing that matters is what mattered before going on the show.
It's no secret that Ben Smith has earned some fans since starring on The Bachelorette, but before the show even aired, Ben had a fan in host Chris Harrison. The relatable guy from Indiana has made a name for himself for being humble and honest while pursuing a relationship with Tayshia. And according to Chris, those are genuine qualities that Ben portrays on camera. Chris introduced the upcoming suitors prior to the premiere of season 16 of The Bachelorette, and he took the time to detail the lovable qualities that Ben possesses, saying he's an incredibly nice guy. He also called Ben the gentle giant of the season. Furthermore, Chris went on to reveal that the guarded vet was actually a big talker. Chris also acknowledged Ben's story and his service to his country, as well as the leadership qualities Ben exuded in the house during filming. Harrison said, "He's well-liked and kind of a natural leader in the house. Guys really look up to him. We're not surprised in the least." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite reality shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.